Welcome back, Magic Tribe. I am Nina Diedrich. This is Magic Mom Ministries, and welcome back for another Magic Love Note. Good morning, Narla. I love you. You're adorable. That's really cute. We are going to be talking a little bit today about the ties that bind us together. So it's kind of funny that you said that. Actually, we're going to start off today's reading with a Divine Wisdom card out of Neil Dalton Walsh's deck, just because I wanted to get a little bit of input from the higher-ups this morning. All in all, the energy feels pretty good today. It's a little chilly here, so excuse my sweaters and blankets this morning. But we have definitely skipped fall here and stepped right into winter for a second. All right, so our Divine Wisdom card for today is pretty cool. It's a little desert picture. It says every human thought and every human action is based in either love or fear. There is no other human motivation, and all other ideas are but derivatives of these two. They are simply different versions or different twists on the same thing. So this kind of goes along with our Team Love, Team Fear thing that we've been doing for quite a while now. And it's kind of gotten to the point now where that's almost creating a separation label as well. So I think from now on, we're just going to be soul journeyers. And it is what it is, honestly. People are free to make their choices as they will. And, we never know what's going to happen in the long run. So maybe we should just let it alone. We're going to move on now to Denise Lynn's Soul Coaching Oracle cards. And let's see if we can get a little bit of information on the card we just pulled from Neil Donald Walsh's deck. And the key to that one is going to be acceptance. Good morning to you too, Katie. Katie actually sent me a pretty cool link. I don't know if any of you guys watch the Oprah Winfrey Network or not, but Gabby Bernstein herself actually released her whole book in, I think she called it the Soul Sessions or something was what they were calling that series. I don't know if it was just her book or if it was a few other ones too as well, but they were a pretty good, series. So if you want to go check those out, you can get the link from Miss Katie. So acceptance says, I unconditionally accept, cherish, and love myself just as I am. Okay, I love the card or the picture on this card too. So sometimes the ties that bind are also ones that we make for ourselves too. So let's get a couple cards out of Miss Gabby's deck from The Universe Has Your Back. Move my stuff around here. And in case you didn't see the Sunday set point yesterday, the stones for this week are yellow jasper for communication and black tourmaline for grounding and negative energy removal and protection. Also, we are now in Mercury retrograde officially, and I'm pretty sure Mercury went retrograde in Sag. So those of you born during a Mercury retrograde like me, or who were born in Sagittarius also, shouldn't have as many problems with this. And honestly, Mercury retrograde isn't the end of the world. You just may notice that you lose your car keys a little bit more, or could potentially have some electronic difficulties. But usually, if you don't get sucked into the rabbit hole, it's usually stays pretty good. So just don't bring that into your expectations that just because it's Mercury retrograde that some weird kooky shit's going to happen, because that's not the case. So the first card we pulled from Gabby's deck is the name card. The universe has my back. So remember today, as you're going about things, that the universe has your back today, and oneness is my true nature. Okay, so this is kind of our theme this week, it looks like, because we talked about both of these things quite a bit, and oneness being our truest nature as humanity, and the universe having our back is really the only two things we really need to keep in mind. And all the rest of it's kind of an illusion. Let's get an affirmators card from Knock Knock Stuff. Let's see what she has to say to us today. I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's live stream. I'm thoroughly enjoying the new series, and I can't wait to start the James Redfield books tonight. So remember, after this live stream, I'm going live again right away to do our soul coaching series as well. So we're going to do The Universe Has My Back first, just like we normally would in the afternoon, and then we'll switch to the soul coaching series. So I apologize, it's going to kind of bonk you around a little bit this morning, but I really wanted to get this book started. So we have two today from the Affirmators deck. One we're familiar with, in Authenticity, and one we're not. Looks like we're getting a little kick of vitality this week, which is probably what I was starting to feel this morning and yesterday, actually. So Authenticity says, authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. And whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it. But at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive-aggressive post-it note about it. And Vitality says, I am healthy and vital and strong. My radiant love of life fills me with healthy, vital, and strong cells. Each cell is a warrior. Everyone has its own sword and shield. I dare you to try to penetrate my cellular army. Didn't think so, chump. See the little germ fighters in their Viking gear? It's not the cutest fucking thing you've ever seen. So maybe we're going to be battling a little bit of ourselves today, and I'm glad you guys are so excited about the extra live streams today. So I think just remember today to keep an eye on your energy levels. And if you seem to kind of be dragging ass a little bit, make sure you're taking proper care of yourself, because if you don't, we could end up a little bit sick. So the only battle you're going to be having is the one with yourself. So try to keep up your energy, try to keep up your joy meter, try to remember you have every reason in the world to be happy, and the world should not send you any battles. If you do, however, sink into the rabbit hole of for reason, why does this always happen, and the dark, squishy, lovely thoughts that we always run to when we start feeling a little bit of fear, And instead of turning to love, we jump down the rabbit hole with Alice. Then all the bad shit starts to happen, and then we have all of our battles. So if you don't want to have any battles, remember that life is amazing all the time, and everything you need is coming to you all the time. Okay? And then you won't have as many battles because you already know life is happening as exactly as it should. So let's switch over to the Earth Magic Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer. Well, let's get a couple cards out of there today. And I love the art in this deck. It's one of my favorites. Let's see. Let's see what the fairies have to say today. We did have quite a bit of earth magic and water magic show up yesterday in the Sunday set point too. So here's our water. Fog. Okay. You're either veiling something from yourself or something is being veiled from you by someone else. So make sure you're dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's today. All right. Let's get one more. Okay. Actually got two. Okay. All right. So today we are still dealing with a tiny bit of ancestral karma. Okay, these are things that we brought into this life that we need to transmute in order to further our own evolutionary process and our families as well. So this is patterns that we break from our childhood. Like say we come from a long line of teenage mothers, like I do. And then we break that cycle with our children, right? You see, choices then reflect on the ones that our kids make and break that pattern. So in some ways, a lot of us in this life right now are doing that because our old ancestral patterns cannot come with us into this new earth realm. All right. Ancestral patterns are strictly for 3D. So if you want to stay in 3D, keep hanging on to those ancestral patterns. If you want to change them, do it. The choice is yours. Remember, the choice is always yours. Vigilance is going to unlock this, whether it's an actual stone or just being still as one and watching, because the rocks see everything, right? And they have no one to tell, so imagine the vast depths of that knowledge. What have you not been being forthcoming about as well in your own life? And how could your life possibly change if you were to open up about that? Because sometimes speaking about something is the best way in order to leaving it behind. I'm sensing one more card out of this deck. And it's this. Communion, the Eagle card. This is about communing with our higher aspect, whether you call it yourself, God, or whatever. This is about us connecting with that higher aspect of us so that we can communicate and make sure that all of our pieces are on the same page and we're all trying to work towards the same goal. Because if we're not, then that's when things get kooky and shit starts getting mixed up, and then the universe starts handing you stuff that you're like, what? I did not ask for this. This is not even close to what I wanted. Well, it's because you're sending out mixed messages. So make sure you're communing with all of yourselves so that you're all on the same page. And now I haven't pulled any out of the deck for a little bit, so I think I'm going to pull some out of the woman runes too. Looks like it's a oracle day. What message do you have today? That. And that. All right. Nice. Okay, so our 3 notes from the universe today. The woman runes deck are, we pull the sun and the moon card. Okay, so in yesterday's reading of the Sunday set point, we got the moon and the star, I believe. So here we go, adding another heavenly body into this today. The sun and the moon card, though, is about finding the laughter and joy in our life. It's about healing ourselves through laughter. It's kind of like the Hioka card that we saw yesterday in showing us ourselves through the humor of opposites. And while sometimes that may not look funny as it's occurring, it usually is later on when we look back on it and we go, why did I react like that? That was so silly. Because right now we are trying to analyze things and ask ourselves how we can further the breaking of those ancestral patterns so that we can further our evolutionary process and get to where we want to go in this life instead of having to repeat the cycle again when we come back. It's also about rationalizing the things that we have done to ourselves in order for us to assimilate more into that process. And accept the fact that things just are what they are sometimes. This brings us to the tree card, and this is the rune of prosperity. This is about where we want to go. This is about seeds that we've planted finally starting to sprout and give us a little bit of a inkling on what it's going to be when it finishes growing. So we may be starting to get some signifiers of how the direction that we're going now is the direction that we need to continue to go and what the reward's going to be when we do get there. So let's finish this off with a few cards out of Kim Cron's Wild Unknown Tarot. And I want to get some cards on the Veiled card and the Stone People card. I don't quite see how those two are connected to this. That card, that, and that. And all of them? All right. Okay, so Wild Unknown is letting us have it this morning, it looks like. Okay, now those are the second. So let's go through these ones first. We have the Daughter of Pentacles card. So the daughter, hello, Awakening Within. The Daughter of Pentacles is, I believe it's the Page. So it would be the Page of Coins. So this is about us getting a message. It may be a slightly emotional message as well, even though it has to do with money, just because the signifier on this card is a deer, and that's about gentleness. So we may be receiving a gentle message of love that may bring us some sort of abundance and prosperity in our life, whether that's actual monetary abundance or whether it's just a feeling of being abundant, which is probably more likely, even though it is having to do with coins. I feel it's more having to do with the feeling of abundance in our lives. And ditto on that, awakening within. I am sending it right back to you. We have the Three of Coins follows that too. So this is about us finally attaining some sort of cohesive union between our mind, body, and our higher aspects. So we have to really remember that we are a three-part system. And if we're not taking really good care of one of those parts of our system, the whole thing could break down. And then that's why we end up having to pass to another form and then start all over again. So try to think today about how you can become more this Two of Cups and attain union with yourself, because I really feel this is more about attaining union with yourself rather than someone else today. Although I do love this rendition of the Two of Cups card. It is rather romantic. So there may be a little bit of romance involved too. At least I hope so for some of you. That'd be great. Because we're really stepping away from this, and even though it sometimes still is painful and sometimes we still have to take that out and look at it and remind us of what we don't want to go back to, because this is the pain that just sits here. It's the one that makes you feel like something's sitting on you, and that's a hard thing for some of us to remove on our own, because it just keeps getting put back there and put back there by our repetitive ancestral cycles. And we often beat ourselves over the head with our mistakes a lot too much. And we need to kind of step away from that. So hence the message coming in for you today. And this could just be in your communion with yourself as well, about just going back and thinking about the things that maybe you have overcome in your own personal family lives. What cycles are you not repeating that have been repeated for generation upon generation? For me, it was teen pregnancy and being separated from our families early on. I left home early. My mom left home early and married early and had kids early. And then I decided that I didn't want to perpetuate that cycle, because I didn't feel like it needed to be that way. And I made the choice to raise my children a little bit differently. And so far, I am par for the course. And my daughter is 21 and definitely making much better choices in her life than I did. And this is about how we're now able to learn from other people's experiences as well. We don't have to necessarily go out and have that experience for ourselves. And maybe that's why some of us have experienced so much in our lives, so that we could look at you guys and go, don't fucking do that. Like, really, like, please don't do that thing that you're thinking about doing, because I've been there once and I know what's going to happen. And we're given the choice then to either listen or not and step back into 3D. A 4D decision would be to listen and go, okay, I believe that is what happened to you. And well, I don't really want that to happen to me, so I'm going to make a different choice. And it's really that simple. So we really need to step away from, I guess, our focus on our past us, and how we always feel like we have to learn everything the hard way, which is just something that was repetitively taught to all of us throughout our lives. And we just kind of, took it with the spoonful of sugar that it was suggested we take it with and accept it. And honestly, we didn't have to then. So I don't see any reason why we can't make that a different choice now. And when we do make that different choice, then new choices appear and we get different opportunities than the ones we've always had before. And sometimes that feels kind of scary, and we get stuck in the fact that we're doing something that is unknown. And then once we do the thing, then we're like, wow, I don't know why I was ever scared of that to begin with, because it was amazing and I can't wait to do it again. And, that's where saying yes leads us. We've been taught to say no so much to life, and yes to the things that we should be doing, but maybe we need to say yes to life more and no to the things that we should be doing. We know those things are always going to be there, and we know that if we really crack down, we can cut the time it takes us to do them down like 75%, and then we have 75% more time to do things we love. But instead, we're spending so much time pissing and moaning about doing the things that we hate instead of just getting in there and getting it done. That we're losing a lot in the translation. And that could be where the Stone People card is coming in with our vigilance, and how we really need to harness our vitality in order to kind of bind ourselves to ourselves, so that we don't always constantly need the reminder from others that we're good people. We always know. And the more and more we tell ourselves that, the less and less we'll need that acceptance from other people, because we'll already have it from ourselves. So I unconditionally accept, cherish, and love myself just as I am. And this is what we always get stuck in. We're trying to evolve and grow and evolve and grow. And we think that that involves us changing things. But maybe it's just about accepting the things that we can't change, and realizing that maybe we were made that way for a reason, instead of comparing ourselves to someone else and trying to make ourselves be someone else. Maybe we should just be embracing ourselves more and really harnessing that, authenticity that we were given. Because not only are we trying to be authentic with the things that we say, but the things that we feel too as well. And if you can't be honest with yourself about what you're feeling, how can you be honest with anyone else? Just like, if you can't love yourself, how do you expect someone else to? You're the example for how you want to be treated in your life. So if you're constantly raining on your own parade and picking yourself apart, it's no wonder if that's what's being reflected to you in your relationships. Make a different choice, and then see how everything falls into place the way it should. Because that really is the tie that binds us. Our love for ourselves, which leads to our love of everything else, which constitutes our love of God, our love of life, which are really the same things. People get hung up on God being a person, place, or thing, but God really just is the energy that is everything. So when they say God just is, it means God just is. Just like you just are. So why don't you love yourself just as you are? I do. So I think that's where we're going to leave this uber extended Majik Love Note this morning. But obviously there were some lessons here that people needed to hear. So I hope all of you got the ones that you needed. And from me and Magic Mom Ministries, we love, appreciate, and support every one of you. And because you're blessed, go out and be a blessing. You are every day in my life and in the lives of each other, too. So, I love all of you. I'm going to take a quick little break, and I will be back with our next live stream where we're going to continue The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. And don't forget to check out her videos that she did herself too on the Oprah Winfrey Network. You'll probably get something a lot more out of her telling you her own message as well. I'll see you guys in a minute. Be good.